Chapter 1 of Astral Domination, recorded on May 22nd, 2022. On a day just like any other in his life, Alphalation, the young Titan of Darkness, sits in his workshop, tinkering away at his incomplete time machine. For as long as he can remember, Alphalation has dreamed of using this time machine to travel to past dimensions and meet his former self, the Titan of flesh known as Batalation. Alphalation chose long ago to set his life on a path of isolation, spending almost all of his waking hours and some of his sleeping hours working on this machine. Today, however, Alpha gets a feeling that his work is finally coming to a close. As he inserts one last battery into a slot, the machine roars to life. Alpha is thrilled and enters the machine without hesitation. As he looks over the controls to make sure everything is in working order, Alphalation smiles at his success. He may have wasted his entire life building this machine, but that won't matter now that he can go back and begin anew. "Oh boy, I cannot wait to turn this thing on," Alpha squeals gleefully. With minimal hesitation, the Titan grabs hold of 4 different knobs and levers and yanks and twists them all about until the machine disappears and begins the journey through time itself. After a short journey that in reality lasts approximately negative 5,034,586,234 years, Alpha slips out of the machine. Alphalation takes one last look at his prized temporal device before pressing a button, causing the machine to blow up so that it cannot end up in the wrong hands. Letting out a sigh, Alphalation turns around. Before him stands the grotesque mask of fleshy tendrils that Alpha recognizes as being Batalation, the very reason he went through all of this effort. Alpha smiles at Beta calmly, and the two begin an ancient Titan ritual known only as the Maelstrom dance. As the two take turns attacking each other with swift strikes and grabs, the turbulent bond between them grows exponentially, and they crash together into a cyclone of darkness and flesh. This spirit tornado begins to feed off of the souls trapped in the strange purgatory exclusive to this starry plane of reality that is neither past nor present, but only those souls which have been there for less than 24 hours, as all the others have lost their ripeness and the vivid flavors that accompany it. This tornado continues to ravage the land and skies, leaving no youthful soul alive. As the storm continues its path of destruction, it takes a turn and descends into the pits of Tartarus. Deep in these forbidden depths, the spirit tornado comes across a cage sealed with the power of the god of reeds himself. Within this demented prison is none other than the dreaded Niku, who has had his power stripped from him and has been reduced to the lowly status of potato. Niku's presence sends an internal shiver down the spines of both Alpha and Beta, the winds of the vortex slowing as the two titans excitedly glance at this prisoner of pure evil. Niku smiles a grim smile and beckons for Alpha and Beta to draw closer. "As you can see," Niku begins, "I have been long imprisoned within this cage. It has been hexed such that I cannot break the potato crisps that make up the bars and keep my powers away from me. But a force as great as that as the Maelstrom dance may be able to break through." The vortex of souls slows its winds even further to consider this. It certainly holds the power Niku desires. Seeing no reason to do otherwise, the spirit tornado unleashes a blast of dark flesh onto the cage, dissolving the potato in mere seconds. Niku jumps free of the now dissolved prison, reclaiming his power, and dives into the tornado. Alpha and Beta are shocked and struggle to get Niku out of the cyclone, but to no avail. The tornado collapses in on itself and condenses into one entity known only as Grangu. Grangu retains the tornado's hunger for souls, but infusing with Niku realizes the moral issues associated with consuming baby souls. Instead, Grangu opts to only consume the souls of freshly killed rodents. Grangu glances around and sees a large astral squirrel nearby, which he immediately slays. Utters Grangu, unsure of what to do now that he has slaughtered the mighty astral squirrel. He casts a spell of summoning to bring forth another being into this lonely void of a world. Little does he know, this spell will forever open many a portal to this plane of existence, through which anyone can hypothetically enter the Astral Realm. A mighty roar is heard by Grangu, who smiles as he sees a massive figure approaching. Godzoda rampages through a nearby city, killing an unfathomable amount of people with no remorse whatsoever. Grangu watches, entertained, until he determines that this will not be a form of decent entertainment for very long. Grangu steps forth and challenges God Zoda to fight him, satisfying his own personal agonizing, yet oddly tingly, pleasure. Grangu slaps God Zoda, and upon realizing the might which God Zoda holds, chooses to enter a more sleek and maneuverable form. Grangu shrinks down and becomes Gunyu, a two-legged blue creature with large quills and running shoes. Gunyu is capable of running at very fast speeds, which will surely help in the fight against God Zoda. Surely enough, God Zoda proves to be no match for Gunyu, and falls victim to a gruesome death at his gloved hand. Ray, one of the few surviving civilians, exits his home and screams as he has a sudden case of cardiac arrest, dying because all the paramedics have been killed by God Zoda. Suddenly, God Zoda's corpse begins vibrating with power. This power becomes absorbed into the big boy's body and resurrects him. God Zoda is now enraged. He becomes so infuriated that he brings forth the holy sword Excalibur and uses its divine awesomeness to sever his enemy, the great arthropodic beast Mothra, into two clean-cut halves with basically no effort. Gunyu, too, becomes enraged by its unexpected revival of his foe, and devours all of the souls he can find in the universe that do not belong to humans. While he's doing this, Gunyu has his name semi-legally changed to Ji-Wei, which means Grand Astral Beast in an ancient forgotten tongue. As the fight between Ji-Wei and God Zoda rages on, a spectator emerges from a discarded box of ogre-themed contraceptives. This organism appears to be an anthropomorphic oval with an X through it. This being, known as Tic-Tac Jack, narrows his eyes as he watches the fight from afar. Thank you for listening, and please join me tomorrow for Chapter 2.